Welcome back to My Block Jags. I am Denero Scurry. We're back with another Loser Monday. But, big old but, ginormous but, New York Jets won their first game yesterday. So that puts us in the first place. Both of us are tied at 1 in 14, 1 in 15, 1 in shit. I have no idea exactly what the record is one of them. But both of us are tied. We both won one game. But for Jaguars, suck worse. So now we have the first pick in the 2021 draft. I'm excited because it's the first time in franchise history. Franchise history we ever had the number one pick in the draft. And also, it shuts down the quarterback talk. I'm so tired of hearing the quarterback talk of who we should get. Should it be Trevor Lawrence? Should it be Justin Fields? I didn't really understand the comparison of the two and which one in the debate of the two since the whole time Jacksonville has had we've been in the number 2 spot. So if Jets end up getting Trevor Lawrence, we wasn't going to get him anyway. So I didn't understand the whole conversation around why were we even speaking on Trevor Lawrence if we didn't have the number 1 pick as the draft order was going. But since the Jets won yesterday, we slid to number 1. Now, I mean, it was obvious off the rip that Trevor Lawrence was going number 1, but I just didn't understand the argument of the number 2 spot and why it was such a big deal. It was weird because it's like, if Trevor Lawrence, since it's obvious Trevor Lawrence was going 1, it seemed like everyone just wanted to beat down Justin Fields for whatever reason. Some people were saying it's because he's at Ohio State and all that, and they were finding any and everything, any reason to beat down Justin Fields as if he's not better or he won't be better than what we have on our team. And it was real strange to me how the conversation was going. But anyway, if we continue to lose, we got 2 more games. We continue to lose. Trevor Lawrence more likely to be the first round pick unless he stays in college. And who knows? I mean, he might pull an Elway, Eli Manning, and say I don't want to be drafted by the Jaguars. He might stay at Clemson. I don't know, but hopefully he stays, or hopefully he jumps out after this year and we get the quarterback. With this, we should fire Doug Marrone. That report that came out last week that said maybe Doug Marrone might stay, I think that's bullshit. And not to mention Doug Marrone, for whatever reason, is in his marriage with Todd Wash, to where he said as long as he's head coach, Todd Wash is going to be here. That's even more reason to fire him. The fact that you refuse to let go the defensive coordinator who makes our defense look horrible with the play calling, the talent that we have on that side of the ball, all that. You just need, to me, Khan, Tony, Shot, clear house, bring in another GM. We have the first round pick. We have the first pick we have to have first round pick, and not to mention we have all the first picks in the draft. With how the draft order goes, I haven't seen. Of course, we're not gonna know fully how the draft order goes, but basically that's how it goes. If you're number 1, you have number 1 in each round or whatever. So we are gonna have good picks all the way around. Not to mention we have another second round pick with Jalen Ramsey trade. So another first round pick with Jalen Ramsey trade. And since they beat the Rams, that pick is steady falling. So we need new GM, new head coach with these picks. I think that we can literally turn our team around. We have the ability to turn our team around at least by 6 or 7 games in 1 year. So if we only win 1 game, I mean, we can go to 6 to 7 games in 1 year if we draft right. I'm not really necessarily looking in the free agent because they keep mentioning the money in free agency. For the last 3 years, we had big money in free agency. I might be lying. I know last year we had big money in free agency, and we haven't got nobody big here. A lot of years we had big money in free agency. We haven't gotten a lot of big names here. I think the biggest or the best player we got in free agency ever is Calais Campbell, and we got him for a good 2-3 years. So Jacksonville, a lot of times, I mean, whatever curse we have on us, we bum out on free agents. So I'm not really looking forward to the free agent with it. The free agency with this, with the extra money we have, but I'm damn sure looking forward with the draft, with us drafting Trevor Lawrence. I'm looking forward to the draft for us to build pieces around him. That's a early Christmas gift. I mean, we had one early Christmas gift with Dave Caldwell being fired, and now this is another one with the number one pick in this upcoming draft. But let's talk about yesterday's game. Like I said, it's another loser Monday. Jacksonville Jaguars fall to the Ravens, and to be honest, Minshew sucks. Point blank period, though. And I'm tired of hearing this argument. Minshew gives us the best option to win. I kept tweeting that. I tweeted that probably like 7 times yesterday during the game because Minshew plays so bad. And this is a perfect example when I say Minshew holds the ball too long and you can't put everything on the offensive line. He took a safety. We have the ball on the 1 yard line. It was a 3-step quick pass play to the left. Minshew 3 steps dropped, pump fakes, second guess, then looks to the right, holds the ball, and then Eifert couldn't hold the block and he takes a sack. That's all on him. That's not on the line. That's not on blocking. That's strictly on Minshew. If you go back and watch the play, it was a 3-step drop on the 1 yard line. Now, I'm not even mad at Gruden for calling the play because Minshew should have thrown the fucking ball. Throw the ball. If it gets deflected, at least you don't get a turnover. You don't get a safety. We can go to second down and get another play. Third down, whatever. We can go get another play. But you don't hold the ball in the end zone. That's the one thing you don't, because you don't want to hold the ball too long to get a hold. If you get a penalty in the end zone, it's a safety. You're trying to get that ball out as fast as possible. That's why it was a 3-step drop. He holds the ball too long. He doesn't have that clock in his head to say, hey, let me get the ball out my hand. He doesn't have the awareness to say, hey, let me do something, do anything. But don't hold the ball. Eifert, I'm guessing he's not that good of a blocker. And he should have did better blocking on that play. But still, if it's a 3-step drop pass to the left, I'm guessing it was a slant, it was a drag, it was something on the left side because I haven't seen the overhead view. It was something on the left-hand side that he was supposed to throw. More than likely it was a slant or a curl, but he should have threw it. Even if he didn't have confidence in his arm, even if it was covered too good, throw it short or throw it too high to where at least just don't hold onto the ball and take a sack and a safety. That's the one thing that bugs me about Minshew because it's like some of the things he does. Some of the passes he was throwing yesterday, they were so inaccurate, so inconsistent. Throwing the ball too deep, throwing the ball too shallow, throwing the ball out of bounds. I mean, Minshew is not good, man. Minshew is not good. And I understand the hype around Minshew, the whole mustache bullshit, but he is not good. And we have people arguing Glennon, Minshew, Luton. They're not our whole quarterback room period isn't good. And I'm rooting. I was on the Minshew bandwagon. I was on the Minshew train beginning of the season. I was like Minshew magic. You can go on my channel and watch videos with me saying if we build around Minshew, we can be a lot better than what we were last year. But for whatever reason, Minshew digressed. You can argue with your mama. When you watch the games, Minshew digressed. He does not look good. He looks so much worse than what he did last year. And I don't understand the argument on him. You keep putting all the blame on everything. It's the same exact thing they did with Blake Bortles. Same exact thing they did with Blake Bortles. They made every excuse instead of saying, hey, this guy is just not that good. And it's crazy because all 31 other teams see Blake Bortles not that good. Because I don't think he's on a roster. I think he's on Denver's practice squad. And he got signed in like week 8, week 9. Everybody in the league knows Blake Bortles isn't that good. So it's not. So you can't sit there and blame the fan base for saying he's not good when all 31 other teams said that he wasn't good. Back to Minshew. Minshew does this. It's some of the same shit that Minshew does that Blake Bortles did. Blake Bortles was able to run. Minshew was able to run. Bortles was inconsistent with his pass. Minshew's inconsistent with his pass. Bortles threw horrible passes. Minshew throws horrible passes. It's just some of this. They're so much similar to where it's crazy, and we're literally having the same arguments with Minshew that we had 4 years ago about Bortles. Literally having the same exact argument. And we can go even further back. You can go 7 years when we had these same arguments about Blaine Gabbert. This same exact argument with Blaine Gabbert 7, 8 years ago. People were arguing that Blaine Gabbert wasn't the problem. It was the offensive line. It was the receivers. It was everything else. They blamed every reason of why Blaine Gabbert couldn't succeed, and we were the issue. Maybe he went to the he of course he went to other teams, and other teams had him playing in certain ways, and he did his thing, whatever. You know what I'm saying? He still has a career in the NFL. But when he was here, it wasn't the team's fault he couldn't complete passes. It wasn't the team's fault he held the ball too long. It wasn't the team's fault why he was so skittish in the pocket. It's not the team's fault why Blake Bortles couldn't throw a spiral. It's not the team's fault why Blake Bortles passes were so off, inconsistent, too short, too long. Some of his passes look like a punt. And vice versa with Minshew. It's not everyone's fault that why Minshew cannot do the things that we want him to do. I'm going to keep going back to these plays. I can literally call out certain plays. The safety. If it's a 3-step drop and you're supposed to let the ball go, let the ball go. That's crazy. And I honestly feel like the reason Minshew played the whole game is because the fan base been crying about Minshew so much for the last 2 weeks that they're like, fuck it, we're going to let him play. He cried and begged to play. Now they're like, fuck it, we're going to let you play. And you're going to bury yourself. Because to me, if you would have put, just in that one play right there alone, Glennon wouldn't have took a sack. Glennon wouldn't have took a safety. He would have threw it. Glennon has 100% confidence in his arm. Look at all the times Glennon threw the ball in the middle of the field to the tight end. Tight end had double coverage. He had the linebacker on him and the safety coming up top. Glennon threaded the needle, threw it to him. Is Glennon good? No. Is Glennon got better than Minshew? In my opinion, yes. Does Glennon second guess his arm when it's time to throw the ball downfield? No. Does Minshew do it? Yes. Does Minshew hold the ball too long? Yes. Come on, man. Like, all three of the quarterbacks in the quarterback room, literally, no one's better than the next. But the argument is that Minshew is, and it's so strange to me because as a fan base, we're so used to bad play when it comes to this football team to where we're arguing on less than mediocre. We're arguing about less than mediocre players, and it's crazy, man. It's just it blows my mind because Green Bay would never have this argument with their fan base. You would never hear this. 49ers would never have this argument with their fan base. Pittsburgh. You can pick teams that just win, that have a culture of winning, are decent teams, have been decent teams in the last 10 years. They never have these arguments. I guarantee they never have these arguments. But for whatever reason, Jacksonville, we're so used to losing, we argue about how we lose. We argue about players that aren't good, and we argue and try to make our points about the next who isn't that much better. It's crazy, man. James Robinson, for whatever reason, we didn't. Well, it was a reason. They stacked the box, 8 in the box, 9 in the box. We still run James Robinson. Still running James Robinson. That tells you something about the play call. And the fact that there's 8, 9 in the box and we're still running James Robinson and we really can't really get off like that. James Robinson he scored a touchdown. It was a wheel route out the backfield. It was a nice pass by Minshew. He caught it, scored. I forgot who scored the other touchdown. I think it was Keenan Cole maybe. The game was bad. I just wanted us to lose. Of course, I'm on the tank train. I wanted us to lose, but I want us to look competitive, man. I'm a Jaguar fan, been a Jaguar fan my whole life, and it's like I want to watch us be competitive, man. I don't want us to be the doormat of the NFL. I don't want us to be the ass end of all the NFL teams every year. I want us to at least look competitive, man. And we didn't look competitive. If you look at Minshew's stats, I want to say he threw like 240 or something with 2 touchdowns. All those are ass garbage stats. Come on, bro. Like, why are we highlighting, screenshotting, saying, oh, Minshew's passer rating was this. Oh, he threw for 200 and something yards with 2 touchdowns and no interceptions. When we got blown out by a goddamn 28? We got blown out by like 28 points and we're arguing 26 points and you're gonna highlight that he had a good game because he's playing from behind with garbage time stats that mean absolutely nothing. I mean, the game was just hard. I'm not even gonna lie, it was hard to watch. I didn't even write down no stats because it was just a horrible game. We got blown out. It was a horrible game to watch. Defense didn't do much. We couldn't stop Lamar Jackson. Granted, who can? Lamar Jackson is very good. He balls out every time he goes out. Some teams, they can dial his number to stop him. A lot of teams can't. Chase Young, I'm not sure if he tackled Lamar in the backfield. It was a design run. So I'm not sure if that's a tackle for loss or a sack. I didn't look it up. But it was good to see Chase Young finally doing something. But I mean, we're just gonna lose for the next two. I think we got Chicago next. Hopefully Nick Foles starts and throws all on us, and Allen Robinson gets off. Hopefully that happens. Oh, Yannick Ngakoue. He showed out, and I tweeted this yesterday. I said Yannick is gonna get 2 sacks in this game. What did Yannick do? He got a sack early in the game, a real good sack. Late, he popped Minshew real good. Real good sack on Minshew. Then he stared down the bench. I thought that was kind of funny. Got a sack on Minshew. Then he got a sack forced fumble. Can he beat Cam Robinson? And he poked the ball out of Minshew's hand while Minshew was just running the ball loosely, like it was a fucking loaf of bread, and poked the ball out of Minshew's hand. So he got 2 sacks and a fumble force. Since he's been on Minnesota, or when he was on Minnesota, he had 6 sacks, and since he's been on Baltimore, I think they said he has 4 sacks, 2 yesterday. So Yannick is still being Yannick. He's still getting to the ball, or he's still getting to the quarterback. He's still a good pass rusher. And I'm going to always bring this up. It was stupid. Whatever the reason we didn't sign him, it was dumb. And the fact that he took $6 million less to go to Minnesota says a lot about this the organization here that we have in Jacksonville. But Yannick played well. Calais Campbell didn't play. He was hurt. And I mean, I really wanted to see Yannick. I really wanted to see Lamar Jackson. And I just want us to be competitive, and that's not what we were. But it is what it is. We got the number 1 pick. Let's lose these last 2 games. Let's not fuck it up, and let's go out there and get Trevor. Let me know in the comments what you guys think. And again, argue with your mama about Minshew. About Minshew, Glennon, Luton. Argue with your mama. I don't give a shit what you got to say about them. They are not good. Point blank, period. I'm a diehard Jaguar fan, but I'm not gonna lie. I'm not gonna sit there and do all that. Trying to gas people up, because if you take them off the Jaguars and ask them to go on another team, will they even make the roster? I fucking doubt it. Point blank, period. And that's that. Let me know what you guys think in the comments, and make sure you subscribe to my videos.